Hello, this is Teacher Wayne and I'm continuing my FPS games design process, what I mean, the FPS games design process of making a zombie shooter. So the last video we added to the zombie lovely little health bar, and we got it so that the health bar was going backwards and forwards. Now we're going to jump to the player. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on the eyes so I can zoom right in to the player. Here we are. Now the eyes is the camera. If you look here, I'm rotating around. Can you see this is what this sort of player can see is through this picture here, through the camera, through the eyes. If you go game view, you can see it. What we want to do excuse me, is add we want a gun. Now I went on Sketchfab. Now I will briefly show you Sketchfab. Sketchfab is a great place to get loads of free resources, so I'll just minimize that for a second. So I've already included this asset pack in the game. Now I've made some modifications to this and I'm going to be using the asset. Please use this asset. If you're following me in my video, it's important that you use my video, the contents I've given, because I've modified it from what I downloaded in Sketchfab. I've added a sort of gun controller, and I've sort of extracted and made some animation sequences for the gun to make it work in the game dynamics I have. And that's quite important, that, because if you're using external assets, they're usually for games that they've made and they won't necessarily work in the game that you want to use with that. And that's one of the problems I find with using third-party assets, is that they don't mix and match very well, especially code. So it's always a good idea to, yes, you can use other people's code, but you've got to be prepared to make lots and lots of modifications. And they don't exactly mix and match well together, lots of other source codes. It's one of the problems you will get with Unity or any game design process. Try to use assets that the content creator is giving you. So for me, use mine, please. Okay, that said, so what we're going to do is, I was just saying, is I'm going to add a gun to it, a gun for the player now. So what we're going to do is, can you see that that's the view that the player has? So what we want is, we want our gun to sort of appear like that in front of us, so that we can see the arms and we can have a gun, and we get this shoot mechanic and maybe a reload mechanic as well. Because that's better, that's what we want, is this gun. So I'm going to get this FPS controller here. I'm going to go back again to the I'm in game mode, I do apologise. So I'll go back to there. I'm going to click on eyes and I'm going to get this here. I've gone into assets. I've already given you this right at the beginning of the series. It's in animated there. You open it up, you go source, and then you get this here, and you want to grab that pistol, and what you want to do is you want to drag it and drop it on top of the eyes. If I click in game view, can you see we get this funny little view, because it's slightly partly on. Now unfortunately this pistol has a built-in camera, so the first thing, we open the pistol up and we find that camera and we delete that camera, because we already have a camera. If I click in game view, there we are. We don't see the camera because the camera's hit, the gun is there. Can you see the gun is currently, so if I click on the pistol, what we want to do is you want to move this into view, and I'm going to move it there. Now if I click game, can you see we've got our gun appearing in front of the player now. Go back to scene view, want to move it back a bit, down a bit, go back to game view, and can you see what's happening here as we move it more and more into focus? Eventually I want to move it back a bit more. Let's have a look what's happening here. That's better. Put it down a bit and move it forward a bit. And we're getting better. A bit forward. Just see how far forward I can get this this to move. It's alright, keep moving it forward. Can I get it sort of there? Yeah. Now obviously you want to position it so the arms are, I can see I've got a little bit showing there, so I know that's a bit too far forward. There we go. Go back to, I'm just literally going to press play now. And as can you see, as I'm moving up and down, because it's attached to the eyes, it's there. And also, can you see another thing? Press escape here, go back to scene view. Oh, you can't really do it. I have to go back to game view. Can you see that the gun, I'll use my finger because I am on camera, the gun is, so I'm trying to get it to point to that target reticule there, that red thing. So that's another important aspect. I think it roughly is, because that's what we're going to hit when we eventually shoot, is this little thing. So I want the gun to at least look like it's facing towards that. So there we are. Now as we can see our reflection, it doesn't look like a player there, it looks like the capsule there. But that's something we can address in another video. But there we got our pistol set up now. Now another thing we want to do with our pistol is we want to add an animation controller. Now we've got a controller there, so we click add. Is it animation? I can never remember. No, it's not animation, it's animator. Add animator, and we grab the gun and we drag that there. So that's the gun. Does it have an avatar, this? Let's have a look. No, it doesn't have an avatar, it doesn't need one. Alright, so we can leave that blank. Click animation. Can you see I set all this up? So we've got 4 states for our gun, and can you see I've got 4 states here. We've got idle, we've got that one is jump, so there's a jump sequence for our gun because we do jump. We have a reload sequence, we have a fire sequence, and I've got it all set up. Hopefully you should be able to see all this when I'm clicking along. If you've imported my asset pack correctly, it will all be set up. Now this is not done by default when you download it from Sketchfab. That's why I'm sort of giving you a warning. Actually, you've got little previews here of each one. You can see roughly what they do. So if I go back to scene view and I press play, let's have a look what happens. Yeah, it's working fine. It's not doing anything. It's not set up yet. That's what I'm going to be doing in the next video, is linking the animation sequence to the actual gun. There's another script that we can add. We're going to add a script here called the gun animation script that links with the gun thing, that's going to link with the player controls. So we're going to be making modifications to the player controller, and we're going to be making modifications to the actual, we're going to add an extra script here that links and allows us to shoot. Okay, well that's as far as I want to go in this video, so thank you very much for listening. This is Teacher Wayne. Please, once again, please like and subscribe. It helps me support the channel and make more content from you guys. Please feel free to put comments in. Any requests, any bugs you're having, that sort of things, give me comments. I can help you. Thank you very much, and goodbye.